Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another week of distant learning. Today, we're going to be looking at second grade math DCPS learning packet, week 8, day 1. Let's get started. For our daily warm-up, we'll be looking at a word problem. The word problem states, there are 63 cows in the pasture. Some went into the barn. 30 were left in the pasture. How many cows went into the barn? Well, I start to highlight some information, some important information. In total, we know that there are 63 in all. Well, how many of those were left in the pasture? We know 30 were left in the pasture, in the grassy area, outside in the field. That's what a pasture is. But then some of them decided to leave and go to the barn. We need to figure out how many. I want you to press pause here and see if you can find out how many were or went into the barn. Okay, so we know 63. There were 63 cows in the pasture. We know that 30 left the pasture, or were left in the pasture. We know that some of them went into the barn, but we want to know how many. So if we had 63 minus 30 that were still left grazing out in the fields and the pasture, then we would have 33 that went into the barn. If you said there are 33 cows in the barn, you are correct. Today we're going to be looking at measurement. You're going to use the ruler that you see on this slide in your packet. You have the same ruler. Cut it out because we're going to need it today. This anchor chart here helps us with our new learning. It helps us to understand how to measure in inches, how we can also look at the difference between the longest side and the shortest side. Now let's look at the Let's Try section of our packet. It says cut out the ruler on the dotted line located on page 3 and use it to measure the lengths of the objects below. Then use the ruler to draw an equal line to the length of the object in the space provided. So here we have a picture of a pencil. I have my ruler here. My ruler here is in red. I did my ruler in red to make it easier for you to see. My ruler has two sides. There is a centimeter side and an inch side. The inch side goes from 0 through 6. 0 would be this line right here where the ruler starts. That is 0. You don't see the number 0, but the start of the ruler is at 0. And when I want to measure something in inches, I have to make sure that that word is in a position in which I can read it, not upside down. So now I know I have my inch side. I'm ready to measure my ruler. Remember, I have to put the 0 at the beginning of the object, which is this pencil. I see here that the object measures up to 4 inches. It's a little bit over 4 inches, but I'm only going to the nearest whole number. So I'm going to give this a measurement of 4 inches. Let's write this on our recording sheet. 4 inches for the pencil. Now I'm ready to go to the second part B of this problem. It says draw a line in the box that is the same length as the pencil. Well, I know the pencil is 4 inches. Now I'm going to take my ruler, line up in the middle of the box, and I'm going to draw a line that is 4 inches long. Now, that is my line that I have drawn that's 4 inches long. The next part that I'm going to look at is the eraser. Let's see what they want us to do with the eraser. It states the eraser is inches long, so I have to measure it. So I'm going to take my ruler, make sure it's on the inch side, and I'm going to measure it. I have to line up 0, the start of the ruler, with the start of the object. Well, here I see it's a little under 2 inches. So therefore, I'm going to round it to the nearest inch, which is 2. It's closest to 2. So my eraser is 2 inches long. Write that on your recording sheet. So I've written my answer on the recording sheet. The eraser is 2 inches long. The next part, part D, states that I'm going to draw a line in the box that is the same length as the eraser. So I need to draw a line that is 2 inches. So I took my ruler and I drew my line that is 2 inches long. Next and last, part E. It says, what is the difference in the length between the longest and the shortest objects? Then they tell you what to think about. It says, how long is the longest? Let me read that again. How long is the longest and the shortest items that you measured above? Well, here I know this is 4 inches. My pencil was 4 inches. I know my eraser was 2 inches. If I want to find the difference, most of the time when I'm finding the difference, I have to subtract. So let's see how I'm going to set this problem up. So I would set the problem up this way. 4 inches minus 2 inches equals 2 inches. My answer is 2 inches. Now, let's look at problem number 2 in our Let's Try It section. It says measure and label the length of each side of the triangle using your ruler. So, I see here I'm measuring in inches. Remember, your ruler has 2 sides. You want to make sure that you're on the inch side of your ruler. So, I have side A, side B, and side C of a triangle because I have 3 sides. I'm going to measure each side. This is side A. Remember, I have to put the beginning of my ruler at the beginning of the line for side A. It goes about 4.5. It looks like it's in the middle of 4 and 5. So what I am going to do, I'm going to round that up to the closer inch. So the closer inch, in my opinion, would be the higher number, which is 5 because it's right in the middle. So we're going to put 5 inches for line A. Now, let's look at side B. Side B tells me that I'm going from here to here. That is close to 4 inches. So we're dealing in nothing but whole numbers. So I'm going to write 4 inches for side B. Next, we have side C. As I'm measuring side C, it's a little bit over 2 inches. Just a little. So I'm going to round it to 2 inches for side C. The next part I have to look at, it says, what is the difference between the shortest and the longest side? The longest side is 5 inches. The shortest side is 2 inches. Well, there are really 2 ways I can look at this. Let's see how I can figure out the difference between the 2. One way to look at it is by subtracting. 5 inches, IN, is just the abbreviation for inches. 5 inches minus 2 inches, and I know that's going to equal 3 inches. Another way that I could look at this, I can say, well, if I have 2 inches plus something, will get me close to my longest side, which would be 5 inches. Well, 2 inches plus 3 inches will get me to what? 5 inches. So 2 inches plus 3 inches equals 5 inches. All right, let's move on to the problem set. Now it's time for you to do the problem set on your own. Do your best work. I know you'll do a great job. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.